Ellie. Ellie doesn't know how to use the dog door yet, so she's just barking like crazy. I try to do the right thing most of the time, and one of those things is recycle my oil. When I was a kid, my dad, like many other dads, just emptied their oil right there in the gravel driveway, which basically is creating asphalt. If you think about what they really do on dirt roads, they spray oil down and they drop rocks on top of it. Anyway, if you looked at my parents' driveway back in the 70s, you probably would have said, this is a candidate for a super fun cleanup site. But nonetheless, it worked, and it kept the driveway from washing out too much. So being a studious person and trying to be doing the right thing, I take my oil down and let the big box O'Reilly's or AutoZones, whatever they do, they recycle it, take it and put it somewhere, burn it in shops or whatever they do with it. So grabbed a 5-gallon barrel of that today to go down and get some oil, do an oil change for the Range Rover, pull into the parking lot, and there's a giant huge puddle of oil underneath my truck because the barrel rusted out. That's my second barrel, oil barrel. I had 2 of those metal ones on the side of the shop sitting on a plastic sign, and they still rusted out. So now I have a big mess in the back of the pickup truck. I bought the oil absorbent kitty litter crap, whatever they have at the store. Bought 2 bags and dumped 2 bags on their driveway or in the parking lot down there, trying to clean that up. And kid was real nice. He helped me out and everything, but it made a big mess. I mean, an entire parking thing is covered with oil now at my local O'Reilly's. I'm embarrassed. That's all there is to it. So I got the oil out of this one and got it over into a plastic barrel, but those are only as good as the sun isn't shining on them. I have a second plastic barrel out here. This one's also full, but you can see that the sun is starting to break that plastic down. And so I'm gonna have to get that out of there and put it in another barrel as well, or get it over to the O'Reilly somewhere and dump it out. But so embarrassing today. That's how I'm starting my adventure this weekend with the Range Rover. I'm going to get the wheels off of the back here. I'm going to get underneath it and start looking for the rest on the passenger side. If you're following along on the videos, you can see that I've got the Range Rover turned around and she's in the right direction. I got to thinking this week while I was working and thought, you know, that oil sitting in there, oil does expire, so maybe I should change the oil too. So it came to mind that I started the engine up last week, and as little as I ran it, it did have to get that oil back up in top of the engine and re-lube some stuff. And if I just put bad oil back up there, that's not good. So I bought oil, we'll replace it, we'll do an oil change. We'll at least have clean and fresh new oil in the Range Rover when the engine blows because I did something stupid and threw a rod. I don't think that's gonna happen, but if it does, so there you have it. Which will probably make another environmental mess when the rod goes through the block. It'll just throw oil everywhere. So frustrating. So frustrating. All right, well, got a couple hours of cleaning up and getting this oil out of the pickup truck and getting that used oil over there sealed up. And then I've got to figure out how I'm gonna get those barrels emptied so I can actually do an oil change and put that oil somewhere else. So lots of work on this weekend. I get back to the Range Rover, I'll do some time lapse of me pulling it off, and then when I get underneath it, I'll start doing the investigation. But that's my goal for today, is to clean up now the Range Rover, clean up the driveway and the pickup truck, and investigate my rust issues. That's the goal. Let's see how we do. Okay, get the wheel off. Let's take a look underneath. All right. Oh, let's get some lights. Let's get some lights first. All right. What do we got here? Okay, so let's see what we got right here. Right here and here. And look at that. That's fun. Okay. Looking back over here. Right here. So the lights over there. Spot right there. That's the same on the other. That's the same. What are you doing with the camera? That's the same on the other side. That is kind of surfacey. Looks like. Gonna need to wire wheel some of that to get that in a state where I can see what's going on. But let's pick at it first. Okay. Might be underneath. That's fun. Doesn't look terrible. That seam is bulging, so that means that is rust inside. Yeah, that seam has got rust inside of it. Is that one on camera? Let's look up here. A little crusty, but it looks surface. Wire wheel will be the ultimate tell of that. That's gonna be fun to wire wheel around. Ah, I got crap in my ear. That's my favorite. I'm lying, that's not my favorite. Let's see, what do we got going on over here? In here. It's got a bit of a hoe, probably. Not sure on that one either. All right, we're gonna get the hammer and start banging around on this. Nothing tells more than banging with a hammer what you're gonna have to deal with. Because you know, that banging with a hammer technique that really tells everything. Let's look at this one. Let's give it a couple of whacks. That one's whole too. And it's got a hole as well. All right, what's going on over here? What are we doing? Let's get that up there. Sort it out. Let's give that seam a good whack or two. See what happens there. Stuff's falling down on my head from above. If I bang my knuckle on that fender one more time, I'll probably cry. There's no pleasant. awesome. What did we do in here when we did all that? What did we break loose in here? Anything up here? I don't see anything. It's all going to be in this seam right here. There it is. There's a hole. Yeah. Got a hole right there. All of this has to come off. All that seat belty stuff has to come off. All right, let's get some screwdrivers and get that started. Okay, this came off pretty easy. You have to remove the knob first. So you pull this knob out. It probably is, it's threaded, so it probably should stick better, but it probably doesn't. Anyway, but that piece has to come off. That is not coming off. And I don't have access to the back side of that. Came off pretty easy on the end. Maybe I'm not, maybe I got the wrong size. So that's right. It's an 11. It's not a 13. It's not a 12. It was an 11. It's one of the few things you use an 11 for on this vehicle, I can tell you. Not common. All right. Let's brutally assault this with this. That works much better. Works much better. I need an extension for these others. Okay, I'm going to set those over here. Remember that I did that because I'll forget and then I won't remember where those go. Washer's intact. Ta-da! It just comes off super easy. I already have a box full of that stuff. And I saw light come through here, I think it was. So I'm going to peel this up with the vague minimal hope that that will be recoverable, but I'm not going to count on it. It's sticky. It is. All right, get you in close here. You can see the rest. And the hole! Dun, dun, dun. That's at the base of the C-pillar, which is this here. So cutting that off is going to be no bueno. Probably take care of that though. Okay, that's gonna have to come off. As much as I don't want to do that, I'm just gonna have to do that. Don't fall. Don't show me, show that issue here. Alright, so that is, that's that top, that's the top piece as you were probably figuring out by now. It's not bad. It's not that bad. Figuring out how to cut it out is going to be bad. I'm not sure about that yet either. Might have to get the headliner off to get the drain tube out so I can get it out of the way. This is gonna hurt some of you, but I'm cutting this off. The glue's still sticky after, what, 30 years? That's not bad. Okay, so the headliner has to come out so I can get to the drain tube, which runs up this C-pillar and then runs over to the corner of this. So I'm gonna have to take that out. The good news is I had planned to replace it anyway. You can see it's failing and it has to be redone anyway. So I've already bought the fabric for that and it's up here. So I think I talked about that in a video, but that's it here. This is my new headliner right here. So I've got the fabric, I can do that job. The even better news is I can back the Range Rover out of the shop and do that job on my floor here and make it a lot easier. That's excellent. Temperature though, I'll have to do it pretty soon. The temperature on the weather's starting to turn colder, and we won't want to be doing that when it's below probably 50 degrees for the glue. So that's probably not going to work, but we'll get to that. All right, a lot of work to do on that part. Overall though, I'm not terribly disappointed. It's less welding than the left side. Overall, I think that's true. Okay. Okay. Last time I did this, I still had a floorboard and seats in here. So I just crawled into the back. I need to be careful. I don't want to break any more of these pipes, tear anything else up with my feet clogging around in the back. I have brand new speakers in my kit to replace these. I'm not even sure those are attached to anything. Those are attached to the headliner only. Yeah. Oh no, I didn't want to drop those screws. No! Curses! I recovered one. One screw recovered. Crap. 2 screws recovered. 3 screw. Nope. That one's a goner, I think. Oh no, nope, these are replacement Pioneers from the last time I did speakers. They're probably okay. Bought new ones though, so they're gonna get new ones. All right, let's get over here and do this other one. Ha! All I did is tie that up on there harder. Nice. Oh, lovely. That needs to come out. That is made out of plastic and hope right now. Oh, it came out in one piece. Let's see, did it break? No, it made it. What a shocker. That thing is ancient. Just a little surprised that survived. Got one more on this side over here, I think, too. Great camera work. Gonna get nominated for a medal on that. Good stuff. That one's not even holding anything, but it came out in one piece too. Yay. All right. Think that's everything. All right, let's set another shot up here. These are always fun. So my lenses have already failed once and I replaced them with these, but they are so tight. I'm not even sure I'm turning that. Let's see if I'm getting any turn on it. I am getting a little press. Oh, yay. Whew, yay. It's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's brand new-ish. I mean, new, relatively new. It's not as old as the vehicle. Those turned brown and collapsed. They were nasty. But I forgot this piece needs to come out as well. And then I think this headliner will come out. It's already falling out around my head right now. All right. There's a plug in here somewhere. Do-da, do-da. Da, 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 da. Oh, do-da ding. All right, we got it. All right. Let's up another. Okay, that didn't come down without something happening, so we'll go with that. Ellie. Ellie doesn't know how to use the dog door yet, so she's just barking like crazy. Bark, 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 bark. All right, so I spilled the screws for the fuel pump access to the access panel. I spilled those everywhere. I recovered 4 of them. I thought I had 6. But I could have spilled them behind the subwoofer too. So, all right, that's another interesting thing. So, pretty sure this is toast, but even if it's not, I'm not entirely sure how to plug all this into my head unit up there. And if it does work, then awesome. Then I should use it and it'll be cool and it'll sound great. But that's some very valuable space too for this being a camper. And I can get a smaller subwoofer if I need it, if I really just have to have one, which may be an option, I think. I don't know. I did see a guy who used this after sealing it for his freshwater tank. Pretty clever. That's a pretty clever idea. So he took it apart, cleaned it out, and he put water in there. And it mounts right there. Why wouldn't that be a great idea? I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But still have a solution for water. We got to figure that out too later. But that's it. Headliner's out. It does look like crap, doesn't it? And this is the bane of all humankind, is the foam fails. I mean, that's dust. That just turns to dust. It's just crap over time. So when you get this good and clean, you have to get this surface real good and clean and get all of the old dust and all the old glue off of it. I can show that to you. I'll just peel it up. You can see how that just falls apart in there. I bought a rubber wheel for that, so I can do that with a rubber wheel, and I will show you that when I get to working on that project. But for now, ooh, excuse me. But for now, I've got to get that parked up on top. So I'm gonna probably just toss it up on top of the Range Rover to get it out of the way, just for now. So that's what we're gonna do next. Yup. If I can remember where my turn it off computer is. Sliding that up there on top. I know I'm gonna forget that. I'm gonna drive this out in the back, and at some point where I've got to move the Range Rover, and I'm gonna back that out, and that's gonna go blowing somewhere because it'll be in the middle of a storm or some silliness. I'm sure that's what's gonna happen. All right, so now we've got access to that C panel, that C channel, where I can get that drain tube out and get it out of the way so I can weld on the C pillar at the bottom and grind all the rust back and make sure I don't cause damage down there. That's the next task. I have a bad feeling I'm going to regret taking that out. It is quite, I mean, it is crusty hard. The stuff that was inside is very flexible and looks good. You can't see it, but you can see the mold that's grown in it over the years where stuff's drained and just sat in there. But I've not had a leaky sunroof, thankfully, knock on wood. Mediterranean poplar, wherever it is. But I'm going to probably investigate replacing this with new hotness and get a new tube, because I did have to pull it out, and I'm crazy to think that I'm actually going to be able to get that back in that little tiny hole and get that back down there. Yeah, I don't know on that. All right, that will allow us to look at this a little bit better. Okay, you can definitely see the hole now. Right there. Not bad. It doesn't appear to be bad. How's that sound? It's gonna be a bunch of wire wheeling, I think, but I'm gonna wire wheel that. That's a grommet. I can pull that out. Get it out of the way. Replace. Whoa, that's a lot of rust. All right, that failed. That was more rust than it looked like. You keep poking at it and it will fail on you. That's inside the C pillar. That's inside the C pillar. That's gonna be entertaining, to say the least. Where's my hammer? Get my hammer. Let's bang it with the hammer. What did I say about hitting stuff with a hammer? It will reveal the holes. And I'm glad I did, because I would have gotten to that. And underestimated how bad that one was. That's gonna be fun. So I cut the C-pillar off at the base, weld the new piece in, weld the C-pillar back to the base. Is that how it's done? All right, so hanging around here, there's the other hole that I was worried about. Now you can see on this side that that is definitely rusty bits. But it is going through. There is a hole. You can see light through it right there. But I am hitting good steel next to it. Okay, this video was all over the place. Started out with recycling oil and cleaning up a huge mess, which turned out pretty good, by the way. Anyway, and I got new gravel for underneath the truck, so that's super awesome. We have the headliner out. We have investigated the rust in the right fender. The C-pillar at the bottom, the leak is coming from the drain tube going through the bottom of the grommet and the water getting up on top of it and it not being able to drain and it rusting because it was never painted probably in the first place. It doesn't look terrible. I think I can patch it from the bottom by putting a patch over the top, drilling the hole for the drain, and engineering that differently than just a piece of plastic that can't hold water out. So there's going to be some waterproofing going on when I put that back together. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about how that could possibly be done, but we'll be working on that. I'll be working on that pretty quickly, probably next week anyway. Now, okay, that's all I got for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.